very, very disappointed. You know, it was a great, very thankful to the students that came out tonight, our fans that came out tonight, our alumni. This was a great atmosphere really until the game started, and it was, I shouldn't say that, it was a good atmosphere throughout in terms of the energy in the stadium and the stands, but for us certainly disappointing in terms of our the outcome. Give UTSA credit. They out-coached us, they outplayed us, they out-executed us, and you know, we got some work to do. So you know, we've won some games here recently, winning the turnover margin, and on my account, we turned it over 7 times, 6 on paper, and the 7th with the botched punt snap that gave them the ball inside the 10-yard line. We only got 1 turnover on them, which resulted in a turnover on our end on the very next snap. So we had 2 fumbles on the from our center to the quarterback and punter, 1 on offense, 1 on the punt team, and like I just told our student athletes, we can be a good football team, but it doesn't matter who we play. If we turn it over 7 times and we only get 1, we won't beat anybody doing that. So how we come back off of this will tell a lot about our team, about our coaches, about our staff, and certainly about our student athletes. It's a long season. We got 11 more guaranteed opportunities, and I told them, you know, we got a quick turnaround in terms of 2 in the next 12 days once they wake up tomorrow. So we'll get back to work, get ready for Grambling, and correct the mistakes, and look for improvement in our next opportunity.
Where did you see Corn doing? Why did you have so much trouble at the time?
Well, I think a couple things. I think UTSA's defensive front really controlled the line of scrimmage, and I thought they got in our backfield early, and I thought they did a nice job controlling our running game, and we ended up getting a little bit one-dimensional for 2 reasons. 1, we fell behind with the score, and 2, we were not having the success running the football. So they were able to get their pass rush and get to John, and you know, felt like we could never really get in the rhythm with our passing game either.
You had a level of overconfidence, you think, coming after this? It felt like, I know you think it's got a squad away from that.
Well, and that's what I just told our student athletes. I mean, I just told them, everybody right now that was at this game is walking down Cullen Boulevard, going to their vehicles, thinking, what just happened? We have all these young men on preseason watch lists, and we've got you know, some experience, and I just told them that tonight doesn't have to have a negative effect in terms of our mindset of whether we are going to be a good football team this year. I think we've got the ingredients to be a good football team this year. I think tonight, again, going back to the game specifically, and what I've talked about for a couple of years now is football. Turning it over 7 times and only getting 1, you're not going to win a football game. And to specifically answer your question, I don't think our young men, and I don't think our staff or coaches were reading the press clippings and not having respect for UTSA. Again, we went toe-to-toe with them last year, and they went toe-to-toe with us last year for 45 minutes, and we created some turnovers in the 4th quarter and ended up beating them by over 30 points. But we knew a lot about their program, and again, I know they had familiarity with ours, and they were the better team tonight.
The build-up and the sadness for the situation that the letdown, how much more difficult is that when you could kind of regroup than it would be even just for a game like this, to add to that challenge and that difficulty?
Well, you know, I mean, I think for us, it shouldn't. And I think you pose an interesting question. And one thing we've done in our program, and obviously weren't successful at this week is we're just trying to go one game at a time and be 1-0 at the end of each week, and really within our program, after the final regular season game, look back on our entire body of work and judge it at that point. And again, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. A very, very disappointing start to our season. You know, UTSA came in here expecting to win, and we came in here expecting to win. And again, I give them credit, but you know, we're gonna bounce back. We're gonna regroup. We're gonna correct our mistakes, and get ready to play Grambling next Saturday night.
UH is kind of the past 5 years, you know, kind of a roller coaster, one good year, one bad year. After obviously a disappointing start, what do you tell the team to make sure that this doesn't become one bad year?
Well, it goes back to I think a little bit what I said a few minutes ago in terms of what we just talked about in the locker room. You know, this game doesn't have to define this season, and it doesn't have to define this team. We can come out at any point, at any game this season, regardless of who our opponent is, and we can get 7 turnovers, and we can only turn it over one time, and then we'll have a much different locker room after the game and a much different mood in this press conference. So, you know, again, you know, I think there's been some consistency in our program over the course of time, and I think certainly our expectations are high. And I think when you look at, and again, not diminishing tonight's outcome, but our number one goal within our program is to compete for a conference championship. And right now, as I sit here, we know where we are at this moment. We know what we have to correct, and you know, we got a conference game coming up in a few weeks, and we got to get the things corrected that we had errors on tonight here, starting this week.
And I know John O'Corn, you switched him out at the end of the game. You're going to stick with him before the game?
Yeah, we're going to stay with John. Mm-hmm.
And you were locking in on the turnovers, but you weren't exactly moving the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from those, the offense never got without the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Get a sense of that in practice as into this, or is it something that just UTSA would say just because of down the line of things?
I think a number of things attributed to it. You know, I think turnovers is big. I felt, you know, again, I'm going to give their defensive line and their defense credit. You know, they controlled the line of scrimmage. They took away our running game, and you know, I think we just could never. We were playing from behind. It seemed like pretty early in the game, and you know, we became one-dimensional and didn't get into a rhythm. And you know, I think you know, there's not more to be said on it than that.
Talked about the first round and how people were. What is the next Saturday's game? Do you make any changes to your offensive line?
I don't know at this point, but we'll go look at the film and see how our student athletes played up front, and that'll be across the board. If we feel like there need to be any personnel changes, we'll watch the film, talk as a staff, and implement any changes this weekend.